Hey there. Hey, if you're loving the tips so far, be sure to hit that subscribe button right down there and then tap the little bell so that you never miss out on more free, cool tips coming your way. Also, I would love to hear from you. Drop a comment beneath there. Let me know what you think or tell me what you'd like to hear next. So I know I might sound like a broken record on this one, Chris, but Jen might be the one person on earth that hasn't heard this yet. So
Bring it.
So, so Jen had, the question comes up of what's the best use of a loan officer's time, right?
Mm,
So, or how do they get most of their closings, right? So I went on Chat GPT, which anybody can do, right?
yep.
And I just went in there and I said, what's the closing ratio of social media leads like Facebook, TikTok, when I get a loan from there, or a referral from there, or a lead from there, what do they close at? Chat GPT said 0.5 to I think 1 or 2%. But so let's be generous and say two.
Yep.
I said, all right, that sounds about right. That's kind of what we get on those, give or take. And then I said, what do the realtor referrals close at? And it said 20 to 40%. Which frankly, the 40% is probably a little better than what I get. I get like we average 20, 25, in that neighborhood. So, so then I asked it, is there any better use of my time than working on realtor relationships? And if you put in for chat GBT, says no, it's the single best use of our time.
Yep.
So according to this Einstein computer program, uh, the best use of our time is real estate agent referrals. So then it's like, all right, well, what's best way to get those referrals? Well, that's a pretty easy answer is like meet with them, whether it's Zoom, a phone call, face to face.
Yep.
And then it was like, all right, well, which ones do I meet with? Well, it was the qualified ones, which
Yep.
our definition qualified is 8 buyer sides or more in the last 12 months. So anyway, so Chris was listening to all this and he was saying, because we did it live on a video thing that we were doing. And Chris said that's going to be music to Jen's ear, and that what Jen is doing is massively moving the needle. So I'm talking today with Jennifer Woodland and my partner Chris Johnstone. And so, Jen, why don't you describe what it is that you do?
Sure, absolutely. So I am a part of our concierge program, so titled as an appointment setter, concierge agent. And what we do is we run a program where we have LOs, brokers, and owners send us their database, and we reach out to 200 contacts per month for them. So they decide on what database they want us to reach out to for them. So we make the calls for the LOs or brokers or owners. We book them qualified appointments directly onto their calendars for them. So we call and we have full-on communication with their database, whether it's realtors, past clients, pre-approved and lookings, and we set those appointments up for them and get them the traction so they can do the money-making activities.
So, so is that the primary lit? So, and I'm writing this down. So you call like let's say if I'm a loan officer there, let's just so I'm a non-producing branch manager, right? Or that's what I do these days. But let's imagine I'm loan officer Carl. So you're primarily calling three groups of people for me. You're calling what I heard you say so far. You're calling my past database. You're calling my pre-approved and lookings and you're calling my qualified real estate agents and not necessarily just in my area, but in my area or whatever. Hey, I just got licensed not just in Florida, but Texas also. Just say, I'm just
That's correct. Yep.
hypothetical. I want you to start calling on qualified agents in the Houston area.
Awesome.
going after that Steve Kyle's character, going after his real estate agents, right? Which would be a pretty hard task
Yeah.
because I'm sure they're very loyal to him. He's such a nice guy, right? He's super smart, a bit more handsome than me, some would say, like my wife. But so you're calling those three groups of people primarily with the sole purpose of getting them to schedule an appointment on my calendar, and I guess like on the past database with the having the conversation about refinancing perhaps, or for the real estate agents, and I'm going to use air quotes here, meet me for coffee, so I could start talking about getting referrals from them. So is that the primary list that you're calling on? Is that what I understand here?
Yes, absolutely. So the realtor is exactly what you said. We'll get them on either a phone call, a Zoom, or an in-person coffee meeting, whatever the client prefers. Past client, we offer the mortgage review. A great time to just say thank you for your business, ask for the business, and then we can ask for a referral and a Google review as well. So we do a 3 ask on those past clients. And then the pre-approved and looking, why, we have a great script where we get them in and saying, give them the opportunity, the LO or the broker, the owner, to let them know why is now the time to buy. So, and to thank them for the business and just say, we've got some updates we want to share. So those 3 are the main ones, but we can do custom campaigns as well. It just depends on what the client, their primary focus is when they sign up for the concierge program. We don't like to do a multiple at the same time because we want to give those 10 contact reach outs per day that we do to what their number one priority is, because you don't want too much coming in at once because we wouldn't be able to reach out to them. So we try and stay really in lane focused on what database, and then as time goes on, we've already reached out to one database, then we go on to the next.
Very interesting. So Chris, I know, and look, we both get it. There's nobody like Jenn, right? Jen's a very special person, right? And
Yeah.
we both agree upon that one. But I know you have other appointment setters in addition to Glenn, not like Jenn, but in addition to Jenn. So I'm gonna kind of call you on the spot, and you didn't know I was going to ask this question, but any idea how many appointments you guys set per, I don't know, month or something like that, or
Yeah, so it's each concierge agent books 5 appointments a day, which,
okay?
give or take, some days are going to be 2 and some days are going to be 7. It's just how it works out. But it should be an average for that one appointment setter, should be about 100 appointments per month that they're booking across multiple calendars. Some are from the database, some are from the qualified agents, but it works out to about 5 set qualified appointments every day.
Wow. That's an interesting number because Jen, if sometimes I talk with loan officers and they'll say, well, we see what the people are advertising, what I call magic beans, like hey, you don't need to meet with real estate agents, and that's the battle cry of all the low producers. But like if it starts getting in my head that, hey, agents won't meet with me because they don't know who I am, you guys are setting, like, on average 5 a day each. So like when you're hitting the phone, and let's say you're calling on my behalf, in one day you're averaging like 5 appointments set for me per day,
Yeah, per appointment setter.
right? Per appointment setter. Wow.
Yeah, and they're working all across the nation, all different marketplaces, all different businesses, right? Because we're technically representing the loan officer, which is another side of the thing that I think gets missed a lot of the time. It's like, we're not even the loan officers making the call. We're professional appointment setters that are making the call. So there's that aspect of it as well.
Very interesting. So that just really shoots down the old nobody's meeting with anybody, and they're already working with another loan officer, which they are, by the way. They're 100% of them are. And Jen, we always have this saying, and we say it kind of tongue in cheek, of course, that meters are cheaters.
Yeah.
that if they'll meet with us, they'll cheat with us. You know, so if they say, "Hey, I've already got another loan officer," which all of them do, right? All of them.
We hope they do.
But yet, you know, you're setting, you personally setting on average, give or take, about 5 appointments. So, you know, I was going to ask you how many dials you do to make that happen, but I guess that part really doesn't matter. Like whether you're calling 5 and setting 5 or 500 and setting 5. You know, me as a loan officer, I'm sitting here thinking, what do I care? Like whether it's 1 per 100 or 1 per 5, or, but just out of idle curiosity, like how many dials are you making a day? Like if I have you calling a realtor list and setting 5 appointments for me, like how many do you have to call to make that happen?
Anywhere from 100 to 150 calls we'll do per day
So
per setter.
so give or take probably about a 5% or say a 3% to 5% appointment setting conversion rate.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's actually not bad, because in your case, odds are they have no clue who this loan officer is. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
So
those numbers are, sorry, Carl, but we have a secret. I don't want to call it a secret weapon in the background or whatever, but most of our concierge agents, we set that target at 125. So like the target is get your 125 dials. Because if there is a concierge agent on the team that isn't hitting their 5 a day, that's the number that we'll look at. You know, what is the activity that you're putting out to reach the goal? 9 times out of 10, the coaching is, oh, well, you just need to make more calls. But
yeah,
we have our team on Call Stars every day. So the Mortgage Marketing Animals runs Call Stars Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Show up, do your calls for 2 hours a day. Oftentimes, our concierge agents are on those calls with all of the other loan officers that are making their calls. So we're actually leveraging Call
isn't that
Stars
clever?
inside MMA to help our people, because they are reminded of the scripts every day. They're reminded of everything. And that's the other part of the secret weapon. We have access to the Mortgage Marketing Animal scripts. So they have to be script based. They don't have this, 10 years of knowledge in the mortgage industry as to, the fancy way to say it. They just follow the Mortgage Marketing Animal scripts, and that's all there is for them to do. And then all of our concierge agents run a power dialer. And they're all using the loan officer CRM, because when we set an appointment for a loan officer, the loan officer needs to be able to go into the CRM, listen to the call, see what's happened. And so people on the call might think, okay, 125 calls a day, that's outrageous. I'd have to spend my whole day making phone calls in order to book those appointments. Well, if you're using a power dialer, you can actually crush through those calls pretty quick. And the final thing that the concierge agents really have going for them is they're using the pre-built sequences inside the CRM that are built around Mortgage Marketing Animals. So the majority of the people don't pick up the phone.
For sure.
And that's where a lot of the loan officers stop. They make the call, they don't pick up. It's like, okay, well, I'll call them again later, right? Well, when they miss a call on the power dialer, it automatically sends the follow-up, and a lot of the people will call the number back, or they'll respond back to the messages that are automatically being sent after that. So we actually get a lot more talk tos than we do the average person that's just making the calls, because the automation is going on the background. So we've set our appointment setters up with this system that is the Mortgage Marketing Animals behind them, which is why we can get people that aren't loan officers that can produce these incredible results, because of the scripts and call stars and a little bit of automation behind them.
Well, that's very interesting so I never knew that, by the way. So having the appointment setters on the call stars, and if you're new to us, what the call stars is we have loan officers across the nation from coast to coast, and we have a morning version for the East Coast and an afternoon version for the West Coast, um, where we join in on a Zoom call together, and for 2 hours, 2 hour Zoom call. And for the first 2 hour, or for the first 10 minutes, it's like, all right, today is, let's just say, um, uh, Wednesday past database day. So we're all calling our past database. So your concierge would be calling loan officers' past database for them. And we're all signed on to a big Zoom where we can see each other. So the first 10 minutes, we go over the script. All right, here's just a reminder. Here's the script. And here's the common rebuttals or common objections with the common rebuttals that you'll need to do to set those appointments, to set those refinancing opportunities for the loan officer. And then for the next hour and 40 minutes, we turn our speakers down on our computers, mute our mics, and we're just literally watching each other make the phone calls. And it's something about being with a group of other people doing the same thing. It's just, the energy is just unreal. And then if I get thrown a curveball, like somebody asked me a question that I'm not sure what the rebuttal would have been, right? I'll put, hey, somebody just said this. What do you guys say? Then I've got these different loan officers, and we'll try this one and try that. And so we developed a great script book, by doing this. So it's a very powerful thing. So anyway, so that's very clever that you have your appointment setters on that, because then they can go, hey, somebody just said this. How would you respond to that? And they learn, the common objections. So very interesting. So we, on the appointment setter, Jen, we talked about how many, which is like 125, 150 a day calls that you can make. I guess we talked about the results. You're setting like 5 appointments per day. Who do you call? I guess we kind of covered that, which is your past database.
Yeah.
Looking for refi opportunities. You're pre-approved and looking, the people that I pre-approved 6 months ago and kind of fell off my radar, re-engaging with them again, right? Catching back up, doing a refresh kind of call. And then the real estate agents. I guess my next question was when, like what, when you're calling my realtor appointments or my past database, what time of day are you calling, local time? Like are you evenings, mornings,
No, during the
afternoon?
days. So we actually have it. Some people don't agree with the set times that you call, but it depends on the area that you're calling. And because of the experience of being on the program with the company for a while, after making so many calls in different areas, you find what times work. So usually if you want to reach realtors, my recommendation is anywhere from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Usually they go right into the office. They have a morning meeting. So we're getting them before they go out to any open houses and getting on the phones. Great time. Lunchtime, 12 to 1:30, and then end of day for around between 4 to 5, because they're getting ready to end their day and go out and do either open houses or whatnot, show homes, stuff like that. So that is something that we've recognized for timing. Past database. Okay, people work during the day, right? So 8 to 9 in the morning while they're driving to work, great time to contact them. 12 to 1:30 lunch breaks, and then evening calls. And some of our concierge agents, it will work in the evenings. They'll end a little bit early and do it an hour in the evenings. When people have young kids, they're out at sports, people are getting home at work, so you don't want to message them or call them between 5 6:30. They're just getting home, they're too busy to talk.
Yeah,
So anywhere from like 6:30 to 8 p.m. is a really good time to call for past database as well.
very interesting. Hey, I got a question. So you're dialing between 100 and 150 people a day every Monday through Friday, right? So I go, I could do that for a day, right? How do you keep your energy up? And let's not even talk about from day after day after day. Let's just talk about a day, like, because you're very charismatic, very likable, like a high energy, but you're not bouncing off the walls. Like, it's like a perfect mixture. So how do you keep your energy up? Because it's got to be, I was going to say by the 70th call. For me, it'd be by the 7th call. That I'm starting to, like, my energy would be waning a little bit. How do you keep your energy up? And this is a real question. How do you keep your energy up for
Yeah.
150 calls?
I think it's because of my why and why I'm here and what I'm doing, and being a part of this group for as long as I've been here almost 2 years. You learn that every no leads to your next yes, and that's our goal. We're here because we're here to help the LO. We want to get them those qualified appointments. That's what our role is. So for us, it's almost like, okay, I haven't got this yet. I'm going to keep going. So for me, it's the anticipation of making sure I'm achieving my daily goals. And that's what keeps me going. Or the 2 teas in the morning before I start on Breakfast Club. I'm like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got one
yeah.
for the day.
Very interesting. Yeah, Chris is it's a very unique individual that has this talent. And I think, Chris, you and I could certainly make the phone calls, and I have, right? I have. Um and I think it's a great way to start. Like if you're just getting started, well, I'd recommend just, if you're just getting started, make the call. Like you'll learn so much. If you already kind of know your way around the block a little bit, boy, having and I can still make calls, Jen. It's just now you're doing it also,
Yeah.
and so we're kind of tag teaming here a little bit. What's the hook? So when you're making these calls, so you're calling for loan officer Larry, the real estate agent may or may not have ever heard of that person, and these are high producing, high qualified agents. Why in the heck are they saying yes?
We have a great referral program. Do you have any of the loan officers you're working with reaching out to your old leads? Are they contacting them? And the number one answer is no. Well, we have a free program where we will reach out to your leads, old leads for you. We will get those pre-approved and referred back to you. Do you have time for a 10-minute quick introductory call? And just to share with you what they may offer that your other LOs don't.
That's a pretty darn good hook. The old, you know what that is, Chris? We call that the old "I'll help you get more closings" hook.
Yeah.
And especially when you actually,
Yeah.
yeah, when you actually do it,
Yeah.
so very
Yeah.
interesting.
Which is funny, Carl, because it works because we're calling qualified agents. They
Mhm.
have the pain point of they know they have the leads, they know they have the opportunity. What they don't have is the time. And so what we're offering is the time savings for the quality of the business.
Absolutely.
Interesting. Hey,
And
Jen,
that's, oh
go
no, go
ahead,
ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead, Chris.
So, Jen talked about her why. And so the reason why we started the concierge department, and Carl, I don't think I've ever talked about this publicly,
No,
but
I don't think so.
we started the concierge department back when we were generating tens of thousands of mortgage leads from Zillow and Facebook and Google. And the whole idea behind the concierge department was to get more appointments for the loan officers from the leads that we were generating, because lead follow-up is incredibly hard. Well, that's the problem that we're now solving for the real estate agents. They have all of these opportunities. They're willing to give all of the leads and the past customer database for free to the loan officer if somebody just has the time and the professionalism in the system to actually work them. But then when we took our team and we said, okay, we're not going to do online leads anymore. We're going to focus on where the results come from. We're just going to call the database. We're just going to call the qualified agents, and we're just going to call the pals. That transformed everything. And so now when an appointment setter makes the calls and they're talking to warm, happy, fuzzy past customers and qualified agents and pals calls, it's fun to make those calls, because a professional appointment setter, if they've been in a professional appointment setting role before, like a lot of them are like, here's a phone book, get started. It's like, oh, I'm going to get to call past clients and customers and help people. It's like the best thing ever.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Jen,
Yes.
what's your biggest challenge
Ooh.
as the one that's actually making the calls and setting these appointments for these lucky loan officers, that has the opportunity to work with an awesome, uh,
That's
big, bright ball of sunshine like yourself? What's the biggest challenge?
is some days not getting all the yeses, like wishing you could get more, even though we use our rebuttals that we're trained with, you still like, sometimes you just can't get them, but those may be not the right fit, like we discussed, just go get more. So you know what I mean? Like and when you talked about my energy, I don't let those calls get me down, because I tried. I used my rebuttals. I pulled out everything I could do. And you know what? At that point, it's like, okay, they won't budge. It's okay. Go on to the next and let's get more. So
Mm.
For me,
like
that's
that.
my biggest challenge was the rebuttals and, you know, trying to pull somebody in that might not want to work with my client. Are they worth it? That's what's going through my head while I'm rebuttaling. Are they really worth it? Do
Yeah.
I know my client so well. Do I want this person that's sticky? They might not be the right fit.
So you're looking for, frankly, you're looking for the nice people,
Yeah.
like the
Well,
friendly
no,
people like you, per
Yeah.
se.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Yeah. And then we get, you know, we get the realtors that, well, if your client wants to work with us, they can reach out too. Well, as a professional appointment center, no problem at all. I'll have my client reach out to you. We send it back to our client and say, reach out to them. They want you to contact them. And 90% of the time they get that call when they reach out to them themselves. So we do get those challenges sometimes, but we know how to work around it.
So Chris, when I did this questionnaire thingy to Chat GPT and said, what's the, what leads should I be working on? And is there a better use of my time? One of the questions that I asked it, and this number surprised me too. One question I asked it is, as a loan officer, how many closings can I expect per month from each top producing agent that I'm working with?
Oh.
And again, if somebody wants to input it into Chat GPT, my suspicion is you're going to get the same answer. It said, or you certainly should, right? It said 1 to 4 closings per month per agent. And I thought, well, all right, well, that's impressive. So let's go on the low end of that range, right? So it said 1 to 4. Let's not pick 4. Let's not pick 3. Let's not even take the lower side of 2. Let's go to 1, which is the very minimum number that it listed there.
Yep.
That means and I know we say this all the time, but I just want everybody to get the impact of this, that for every real estate agent, a top producing, a qualified agent that you get to start referring to you, according to Chat GPT, you can expect 1 closing per month per agent. So if I want to close 5 deals a month, I don't need 25 of these people. I just need 5. I think in the past we thought we needed 25 because there was before we had this software where we could look up everybody's production. Now that we know what their production is, we can make sure that we're going after the right ones. And so every yes, after the meeting, we decide to work together. It's a closing per month. If you throw in that number that we always use, $3,000 per closing, we're talking about 36 grand. So we go, all right, I want to make an extra 100 grand, yet only need three yeses in a year. 3.
Yeah.
That's not even 1 per quarter.
Yeah.
Right. Not even what are 1 per quarter. Or no, that'd be 4. So yeah, you need 1 per trimester of the year, right? Every 4 months, I get 1. I just royally suck. I totally screw up all this stuff that you're helping me with Jen. Just 1 per every 4 months is an extra 100 grand, and those numbers never cease to amaze me, right?
Yeah.
And everybody knows what the numbers are. I mean, you don't have to trust me on these numbers. It's like, go to ChatGPT and ask it, how many referrals can I get? And assuming, we make about $3,000 per closing, that'd be 36 grand. So, very interesting stuff. What's, and so you say the primary hook then is we'll help you get more closings using the systems. And then, so Jen, or actually, Chris, this is probably your question. So Jen is setting these appointments and they're using this hook of here, he's going to help you. What if the loan officer says, I don't know how I'm going to do that though. Can you do you train the loan officers how to do the hook? How to actually perform the part of helping the agent close more of their own deals?
Yeah. And there's 2 ways. One is just a pre-built workflow inside the CRM. So they can take the leads that they get from the agent, drop them into the workflow. And then anybody that responds back to the automated messaging, those are the leads that we work. Okay. And then the second half of it is we've had clients come back to us and order another concierge package or just reduce the amount of calls, because as they stack up, I mean, just like you said, Carl, the numbers are powerful. It can get to a point where the loan officer raises their hand and says, okay, mercy. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm full. Yeah.
I'm full. right? Well, the concierge can then work the database of the realtors or work the leads that are coming from the top producers. And it's really the concierge that's doing the follow-up, running the system, making the calls, working the leads to generate the opportunity that's then shared between the.
Got it. So in other words, so Jen, like if I get a real estate agent says, sure, let's end up working together, Carl, that when I get their, say I get all of their leads that where they were talking with somebody in the last 12 months that should have bought a home but didn't, we know that's a really super hot list. And so I don't even have to call those people. Like I just hand them to you and you call those people for me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Free of
But
charge. That's part of the referral program.
yeah,
Do it at
wow.
no charge.
But yet the check at the closing has my name on it. Is that right? It's got my name on it. I almost feel a little guilty here. It's like, all right, well, you set the appointment. The agent starts sending over all the leads that should have closed that didn't, just for example. And then I get those and I go to closing and my name's on the check. So it's like I get, Chris, Jen says, hey, if you feel guilty, Carl, and want to what Christmas
I'm
is
right here.
coming. Yeah, Christmas is coming. That's and obviously we're saying this tongue in cheek, but so that's outrageous. That's really good. So hey Chris, somebody that would be interested in hearing more information about this. So some will take this information and go, hey, I can do that on my own. Or some will go, hey, tell me a little bit more about that. I'd be interested in at least, giving you 15 minutes, tell me how this works. What's a good website or what's a contact for them?
Yeah, we've got a link. It's loappointments.com. So loappointments.com, and hop on a quick call, ask any questions that you have, and we're more than happy to share what we do and help people out.
LO appointments with an S, more than
Yes.
one appointment, because it is more than one appointment. loappointments.com. Hey, Jen, is there something I should have asked you today that I didn't? Did I anything
I think you did well. I think you
You
did
did?
great. I hope I explained what we do here. Our goal is to get qualified appointments, help our LOs, our brokers, our clients scale their business by getting them those appointments on their calendars.
So, Chris, I officially have a bucket list item. I got Jen's approval. I heard her specifically say, Carl, I think you did okay. Right. So that's been a bucket list of mine for a while.
Okay.
So yeah, I didn't do great, but I did okay. I did okay. So that's all I could ask for. So
Yeah.
awesome. All right, so loappointments with an s.com to hear more information about. I mean, what would your business look like if you showed up to work and you had 3, 4, 5 appointments this week with qualified agents and or mixed in with people from your past database that said, yeah, I would be interested in doing a cash out refinance, or I would be interested in doing a debt consolidated refinance, or I would be interested, since rates have tickled down here a little bit, to take a look at refinancing. What would your business look like if that's all set up on your calendar all automatically for you? My guess is it would, what do they say, Chris? Every extra 5 loans helps. Every extra 5 loans
That's right.
helps. Yeah, good
Right.
stuff. All right, gang. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with us today. We really appreciate it. Any of your loan officer friends you think would benefit from this, we appreciate it if you forward it to them. We always appreciate these reviews. We'll see you on loappointments.com, and we'll also talk to you on the next episode of Loan Officer Freedom. Thanks again, everybody. Bye-bye. I'll see you, Jen.
Bye. Thank you.